Yo.
Hello and welcome to the Mind Over Matter show. I decided that we should have, it was going to be an interview of Fisky's life, but then I decided that I really should be more of a part of it, seeing as Mind Over Matter would not be the same without me.
She is a part of my life, there's no getting out of it.
So we're just going to talk a bit about Mind Over Matter because I think we take for granted sometimes that people know the story today, where we are, who we are. I guess we have to start with, the beginning. Pre-Yankee.
Pre-Yankee,
Yeah.
A simpler time.
That cut deep. What actually was the first seed that you planted that made you think, yeah, this is going to happen? Because I've heard the story, but was it just that morning or was there anything in the lead up to that made you?
Yeah, looking back at it, there were a few things, like 2 years before I was sober, I put on a couple of events in Camberwell.
Wait, hold on. Why have you never spoken about these events?
I've mentioned it like a few times.
No.
Like, maybe not to you, but in interviews and stuff.
Never knew anything about this.
Yeah, but it wasn't like poetry events, it was more like rappers and singers.
Okay.
And like bands and stuff like that. And it's literally over the road from my house. And they went really well, and that's when I realised that events were easy for me. I was good at it and I didn't really have to try and I enjoyed doing it. Then I had like the breakdown.
Yeah.
So I left.
Was that like a rock bottom with, got it was rock bottom and Mind Over Matter was your trampoline. See what I did there?
Bexy Bex.
Bexy Bex quote. Shout out
Yeah.
Bexy Bex.
Yeah, kind of, but it was all like a big accident. So I left my job that I've been in for like 10 years because we moved offices and I didn't really enjoy it anymore. I hadn't for years. You can ask anyone that tried to manage me. So we moved offices and they gave us like voluntary redundancy. So a load of us took it, I took it, and then couldn't get another job.
So what did you do with your redundancy money?
Spent it on rent and alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
See, it was a balance. There was some good stuff and some bad stuff.
Let the people know about that morning. I know that everyone that's been to an event has heard the story, and I've heard the story.
I was getting to it. I was building up to it.
Yeah, you were building up to it. Let's hear about that.
So we left the job. Couldn't get another job because all my experience was TV, advertising, everything had gone digital by the time I left. So every interview, the last question they asked me would be like, Paul, so why do you want this job? And in the back of my mind, like I said something that I'd rehearsed, but in the back of my mind I was like, I can't think.
Did you ever say that out loud?
No, I can't, I should have done. So then I gave up. I'd been to AA like a week before that because it was getting out of hand, the drinking and drugs and all that sort of shit. But then I realised at that meeting that I was going to a wedding the next week. And I was definitely going to drink because there were people there that I always drink with, like it was just too, it didn't seem like the right time. So then I left that meeting, went and bought alcohol and drugs, went home, did them. Went to the wedding the week after. I came home and carried on my own until Monday morning. And then, like I didn't wake up, so I'd been up since Saturday, like drinking and doing drugs.
Well, you did wake up, but it was a different kind of wake up.
The spiritual.
It was like, the clouds are clearing.
Yep. And then I just had enough, and I was just laying on the floor, like just curled up in like the fetal position.
Yeah.
And I was crying, I had blood coming out of my nose. My heart was like beating out of my chest. I was unemployed. It was pretty much all the people that had passed away. I hadn't dealt with any of them since my mum when I was 16. And I was just very sad. Like I wasn't even angry at this point. There were points in my life I was very angry.
Yeah.
But I was just sad and I just had enough of it. And no one really understood. Like when you lose 11 people, it gets to the point where people don't know what to say. And I didn't know what to do.
I think people don't know what to say after one person, let alone it's like another and another and another and another.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to do or say. And it just got to that point and I was like, I'm just sick of this. I just decided because AA never worked for me. And counselling, my relationship with counselling isn't great because of the experiences I had growing up, like bad experiences I had with trying to talk and basically told to shut off by professionals. So I was like, well, I've got to do something because I'm going to die. if I carry on like this,
Yeah.
like at the level it was at. Then I remembered those 2 events that I put on before and how much I enjoyed doing them. I was like, right, I need to stay sober. I can't do it on my own. I can't do AA. I'm going to put an event on that's going to be more poetry, so I mean going to Word on the Street at that point.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Desiree, to Craft B, to Charles Edison, to Banana Sharma, to Oracy, who I all met at Word on the Street.
Yeah.
This is why I say Word on the Street birthed this whole thing with Mind Over Matter. And I told them what was going on. I was like, I'm having some issues here, like, and I'm going to put on an event. It's going to be a one-off event. We're going to call it Mind Over Matter. We're going to raise money for Mind, the mental health charity.
Yeah.
And that was that. And I gave myself 2 months, from June to, well, a month and a bit, June to 6th of August was the first event. And that's how it started. Like, it was supposed to be just 2 months, just to keep me sober for 2 months so I could sort my head out.
Yeah.
And
Well,
stop
it kept you
drinking
sober
and
for
doing
longer
drugs.
than 2 months.
Yeah, it did, yeah, 18 months in the end.
After how many years?
20 years, yeah.
Pretty impressive, just saying.
Yeah, it was like, there's all a big, beautiful accident, really. But that's where it came from, that was the genesis of it all.
See, that's where I don't feel it was an accident. If it was, it's a happy, like, you can't have that many coincidences in terms of the people that you met, the alignment, the fact that you've done those 2, if you hadn't have done those 2 events before, you might not have woken up on that morning and thought, okay, I know I can do this event. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's...
Or maybe it wasn't coincidence, it was probably the first time in my life where everything just aligned.
And you made a plan, like you actually took
Right.
control and thought, no, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't at the first event, so obviously it wasn't the best event that we've ever done. But I
Yankey. Well,
hear it was pretty epic. I hear it was still pretty epic pre-Yankee.
the first event especially was so powerful, man, for me and for people there, because I think partly because of even in the build up to it, I could feel something. It was different to the events I did before.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying because I'd committed myself to this and I knew that I had to get up on stage and speak, and I hadn't done that before.
And just look at the lineup as well. Like the people there are serious creatives, so you're hosting them as well.
It was mad. I also had people from Mind, from a writing workshop there come in. So service users came in and did their own open mic, which was really powerful as well.
Yeah, I think whenever you get service users or people step up to the mic that have come from like community mental health services or anything like that, it's always really powerful. And they're some of the most electric performances we've had, where people have actually come up and just spoken their truths. One of the last events in Camden that I did, I don't know if you remember, there was a young man that got up and just got up and spoke his truth, like what he was experiencing, what he was feeling, what he was thinking, and the whole room just held him. You know, it was such a powerful thing, and I think time and time again that's happened. You don't know when people come up and go on stage whether or not you're literally saving a life. So it's come full circle. You start something to save your own life, and then how many people have messaged us to say how important it is to them, or you know how it saved them. Yeah. Basically,
it's a safe space that I never had. Like that was never the intention. Like it literally became for 18 months. It became my rehab. Like in AA, they'll give you certain things to put in front of yourself, like targets to aim for.
Yeah.
And that's what Mind Over Matter did with everything we're about to talk about and everything that came after the first event. I wanted to drink and do drugs,
but you felt
I couldn't,
commitment
because of what had just happened, and it was so powerful. It completely squashed the power of wanting to drink and do drugs.